Being a high performer means consistently operating at your best, not just once in a while, but every single day, under pressure, in any environment, without losing control. It's what separates Novak Djokovic on the tennis court, Michael Phelps in the pool, and LeBron James on the basketball court. It's also what separates business leaders like Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, and Mark Zuckerberg, people who sustain performance at the highest level for decades. I'll walk you through 5 core pillars of high performance so you can start applying them today. There's a dangerous myth in performance that you need to specialize early and go all in on one thing. That if you want to be great, you must put every ounce of energy into your one lane. But history tells a different story. Michael Jordan didn't just play basketball, he tested his skills in baseball too. Bo Jackson became an all-star in both the NFL and Major League Baseball. Even Roger Federer, before he became a tennis icon, played basketball, soccer, and other sports as a teenager, building a broad athletic base that gave him an edge later. High performers have range. They are jacks of many trades who pull lessons from everywhere. They don't just stay in their lane, they build multiple lanes and connect them. Why does this matter? Because greatness isn't built in isolation. A high-performing entrepreneur who understands psychology, negotiation, and human behavior is far more powerful than one who only knows spreadsheets. A high-performing athlete who learns nutrition, recovery science, and leadership becomes unstoppable compared to one who only practices drills. Being a jack of all trades is about cross-training your mind. Just like an athlete cross-trains their body with weights, mobility, and endurance, you need to cross-train your skills. The more perspectives you master, the more unique your advantage becomes. And here's the key. You don't need to be world-class in everything. You need to be dangerous in multiple areas and exceptional in one. Range gives you creativity, adaptability, and resilience. But range without intensity is useless. And that's where giving maximum effort comes in. High performers have one trait in common. When it's time to perform, they give everything. Not some, not most everything. Think of Kobe Bryant. Stories about his insane work ethic are legendary, shooting hundreds of shots before dawn, studying every weakness in his game until it was gone. Or think of entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs, who obsessed over the tiniest detail of the iPhone, things most people wouldn't even notice, like the exact shade of gray on the background of the screen. Maximum effort doesn't just mean working harder than everyone else. It means being relentless in the pursuit of excellence. Most people stop when they're tired. High performers stop when they're finished. But here's the surprising part. Maximum effort doesn't always mean grinding 18-hour days. In fact, that often leads to burnout. Instead, it's about intensity. 1 hour of deep, focused, deliberate practice beats 4 hours of half-distracted work. That's why world-class athletes train with laser focus in short bursts, then rest deliberately. Entrepreneurs do the same high effort, then recovery, and effort compounds. Imagine 2 athletes training side by side. One gives 90% every day, the other 100%. Over a week, the difference looks small. Over a year, the 100% athlete is miles ahead. Over 5 years, the gap is uncatchable. Still, there's a danger. Maximum effort in the wrong direction is wasted energy. You can train hard, but in the wrong way. High performers understand this, and that's why they don't just pour in effort blindly. They focus their effort on solving the right problems. At its core, high performance is problem solving at the highest level. An entrepreneur faces setbacks daily. A product launch fails, funding falls through, competitors move faster. The average person sees these as disasters. The high performer sees them as puzzles. They ask, what's the real problem here? How do we turn this around? An athlete hits a wall during training. Their numbers stall, their progress flatlines. The average performer gets discouraged and keeps repeating the same thing, hoping for different results. The high performer looks at the problem strategically. Do I need to change my diet? Do I need more rest? Should I switch up my training methods? Instead of panicking, they adapt. Problem solving is what separates resilience from collapse. High performers know that problems aren't roadblocks, they're opportunities to grow, adapt, and separate themselves from the competition. Here's the real advantage. The bigger the problem you solve, the more valuable you become. Anyone can fix small issues, but high performers tackle challenges that others are afraid to touch. That's why they rise faster, because they're trusted with the problems that matter most. And here's the deeper point. High performers don't just solve problems, they seek them out. They deliberately step into hard situations. They practice under pressure. They take on tough projects others avoid. They know that growth only comes from friction, and friction requires problems worth solving. This is why they thrive where others quit. They've trained themselves to run toward the fire, not away from it. Solving problems is only half the story. To truly separate yourself, you can't just react to problems, you need to think bigger. You need to pioneer. This is where high performers move from impressive to unforgettable. They don't just play the game, they change it. They don't just compete, they redefine what competition even looks like. Muhammad Ali didn't just win fights. He revolutionized boxing with speed, movement, and charisma. Jeff Bezos didn't just build an online bookstore. He pioneered a new way of shopping that reshaped the world. Being a pioneer means daring to go first. It means being willing to fail publicly, to face criticism, and to stand alone when nobody believes in you. It's risky, but it's also where breakthroughs live. And pioneers aren't reckless. They study the past, master the present, and then leap into the future. That's why their innovations last. They're not guesses, they're informed risks. Think about how Steph Curry transformed basketball. Before him, the three-point shot was a tool, not a weapon. Curry turned it into the centerpiece of the game and changed how every team plays. That's pioneering. In business, pioneering often means disrupting entire industries. Reed Hastings, the founder of Netflix, didn't just rent DVDs, he pioneered streaming, changing not only how we watch movies, but also how the entire entertainment industry operates. And the mindset behind it is the same for athletes, entrepreneurs, and creators. Pioneers are willing to look foolish in the short term to be remembered in the long term. They risk being laughed at so they can later be studied as case studies of brilliance. Here's the truth. Anyone can imitate, few can innovate. That's why pioneers are remembered long after everyone else is forgotten. Vision and courage alone aren't enough. You can have the best idea in the world, but if you don't act on it, if you don't take initiative, it dies in your head. High performers don't wait, they move first. When they see an opportunity, they act before hesitation sets in. When they see a gap, they fill it before anyone else notices. That's why they're leaders. Because while others are standing still, they're already in motion. Take Cristiano Ronaldo. He didn't wait for talent alone to carry him. From a young age, he took initiative to train longer, to study his own weaknesses, and to build a lifestyle around peak performance. He invested millions into nutrition, recovery, and training. Not because a coach told him to, but because he decided to take control of his career. That initiative is why, even in his late 30s, he competes at the highest level. Or look at Tom Brady. Drafted as the 199th pick in the NFL, no one expected greatness. But Brady didn't wait for opportunity to come to him. He took initiative by relentlessly improving his skills, building his own system of preparation, and stepping up every time his team needed him. Initiative turned him from a backup quarterback into a legend. Taking initiative builds momentum. It's like being the first to paddle in a race. You set the pace and everyone else has to keep up. Most people fail not because they don't know what to do, but because they hesitate. High performers don't let hesitation kill their chances. They step up, and initiative is not just about speed. It's about ownership. Ronaldo didn't leave his training to chance. Brady didn't leave his preparation to luck. Entrepreneurs who succeed don't wait for investors to notice them. They build, they test, they prove. Initiative means taking responsibility for your own trajectory instead of waiting for permission. When you combine initiative with range, effort, problem solving, and the courage to pioneer, you don't just perform well, you become unstoppable. So here's the recap. High performers, whether athletes, entrepreneurs, or business leaders, build range like jacks of all trades, but channel that range with maximum effort. They solve problems that others avoid, they take initiative before anyone tells them to, and ultimately they pioneer new paths forward. Even if you master all of these traits, you'll fail if your attention is scattered. High performance isn't just about ambition, it's about execution, and execution demands focus. That's why your next step is to learn how to hyper-focus.